courage to be real, where real stories break the silence.
So one thing I want to say, Drew, he's great at making connections and making friends. There's just something, I don't know, there's just something about him, and I actually have a harder time with making friends, but so I do see him really trying with people, like quality people. And one thing, as you were talking, it's funny because, he's changed to the point, like, I don't know even if he knows this, but so sometimes when we go to gym, there's people that, depending on the day, they bring little kids to the gym. One thing I have to say is I'm not big on a lot of children at the gym because of safety, and it would trigger me too, but I think it would trigger me because he was so triggered before with kids around him. I mean, a kid would be next to him and I could sense it, how much he hated it, right? So I would get triggered. But now he's just like so chill about it. Like it's really weird. And I'm still kind of like, oh my God, what's going to happen here? Is he going to get triggered? So, I mean, it's like everyday things he's changed so much about, where I don't even realize it until he says something and I'm like, oh yeah, he doesn't do that anymore. So it's really different, And another thing I wanted to say before in case you change the subject, about the sex thing, I don't want anybody to listen to this, especially men, say, well, of course she's a woman and, women don't think sex is that important, blah, 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 whatever. It is important. Of course it's important. It's important in any relationship. But when it comes to the point where it just becomes so mechanical because you just have to do it just to do it, yeah, most women, and again, I can only speak for women because I'm a woman, is most women were so mental that we don't find the partner attractive anymore. Because of what he does and the way he acts towards XYZ. In our case, it's the way you were acting towards our son, and then all the things that I was feeling. And no, I can't separate those two things. I can't separate you treating Cam at the time like crap and then me wanting to have sex with you. That made in my mind, it made no sense. I'm sure and again, I don't want to speak for men, but maybe in a man's mind, you guys can't separate that. Most women, I don't think can. So again, I don't want anybody to think that we're saying that, oh, sex isn't important anymore. Of course it is. It has to be kind of quality. And it's before I never felt good enough. Basically, you were doing what my parents were doing, or my mom, it's like the nitpicking about my looks.
It was
but
never
in our
enough.
case, yeah, it was never enough. And seriously, if I'm going to be honest, there was a point when we were going through this, I wanted Drew to have an affair so bad. Just to get him off of me, first of all, like go on somebody else, and then just to have an excuse to leave. You know what I'm saying? Like really, at some point, I was like, maybe if he just finds somebody else. I don't know. I mean, again, were these rational thoughts? Of course they're not. The suicidal thoughts I was having, they weren't rational either. But what I'm saying is that they were real to me at the time because of the way he was acting. It's like, just leave me alone. Go find somebody. Maybe they'll do something. Maybe they'll be better for you. I don't know. But again, not rational, but I just wanted to say that he's not like that anymore. And our relationship is definitely improved a lot.
Speaking that truth, that's a hard thing to acknowledge. And you're right. Not rational, but when you're living in that irrational place and it feels so real, it's important to acknowledge that. But I remember a story that a certain handsome bald man was sharing with me one day.
Can't be me.
Yeah. But he had asked, he's like, why do I need her to validate me so much? Why do I only feel loved when it comes to sex? And we were working through some things, and I don't remember how long it took, but a few weeks or a month or so. But I remember he came on one of our sessions and he said we had taken Cam maybe ice skating, and there was a moment where it was just the two of them out on the ice rink, and he was so hyper-focused and just enjoying his time with Cam. And he remembers looking around and seeing you, and you were giving him a look of like, oh my God, there he is. There's my husband, the man that I fell in love with. And it was that look that you gave him that, like, Drew, he had felt so loved in that moment. And he's
Yeah.
like, it almost blew him over. He like knocked him on his fucking ass because it was like, okay, and that's the distinction between the mechanical nature of sex and you actually wanting it. And I think, Drew, you were really surprised in that moment that you had created that unintentionally.
And again, I've never had that guidance in the past, and I didn't know what it felt like. But it's an awesome feeling. I'm not gonna lie. She doesn't want me to have an affair anymore, though. I found that out.
No, I don't. No,
the girls at the gym.
I shouldn't do that because somebody might be watching, and one of them might be watching. But
right.
No, it's and I don't want to make this podcast about something completely different, but again, from a woman's perspective, sometimes it's just everyday little things that, in our case, Drew does, where that makes me want him, and not because he was forcing and saying, okay, today is Tuesday, we got to have sex today because I need to have sex and validation. So yeah, it's those little moments. And in my case, me wanting a family, and I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe I wanted what my parents had. They were married for 50 something years. And, and that's where in my mind I wanted that. And when I didn't have it in the beginning, it was tough. So it's those little things that add up, him taking him to the movies or doing this or that, as a woman, that's what makes him attractive to me. The working out and the muscles too. I'm not saying that there's a physical, but there's also emotional and a mental aspect behind it too, that the attraction has to build up. Yeah.
So hopefully for any of our listeners then on this podcast that we're doing, The Courage to Be Real, thank you everybody for being here. Hopefully somebody is resonating with this story and starting to make the connection and the distinction between this constant need for validation, this constant just really wanting to be seen and heard and valued, but we're going about it the wrong way because we were never taught how to do it right. We have trauma, we have experiences that have shaped us. And Drew, you had said it at one point, I was wired wrong, and unfortunately that is the case. And so if anybody is experiencing this or a similar story, it's like, leave it in the comments. Let us know. Hopefully we can continue to drive this type of stuff home.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Jason, you hit on something very important. I'd like to just take a moment and reflect on that. Anyone going through what I went through, expecting something unrealistic from your wife, treating your kids other than the best things to ever happen to you, dismissing your behavior and or avoidance. I think avoidance was a big thing for me, right? Lying to myself. I'm not a bad person. People around me just don't understand me. If you're in that place, don't think that you can just change yourself overnight. Didn't happen. I actually needed to seek help from a professional. Professional happens to be on this podcast with me. His name is Jason. There's a lot of trauma coaches out there. This guy, I love him dearly. He's fantastic. He's changed my life. He gave me the tools that I needed in order to succeed. I took those to heart because succeeding to me meant I'm not going to lose everything that's important to me. And let me tell you something. Those of you that think you can do this by yourself, you cannot. Those of you that think you're going to overnight change and your wife is going to reflect and love you, you heard my wife. She loves me. She reflects. She sees me differently. She sees me with our son differently. And she still has trauma that I have given her from our past. So you're not going to fix this overnight. It ain't going to change overnight. It takes time. You have to work on yourself. Your wife, your spouse, your loved one, your significant other will give you the space that you need in order to fix yourself. That's love. When you turn around and show them what type of change can transpire, what type of person you can become, what kind of partner you can become, that's gratitude. That's showing them, thank you for the space. Thank you for believing in me. Now, let's start from here. We're not starting over. In a sense, we did start over, but we still have the past. That past is always going to follow us. Now, some of the past And Maggie will tell you, we've been together for 15 years. We've been married for 13 of those years, I believe. We're terrible with math. We've been together
2012.
for, yeah, there you go. We were married in 2012. So, but yeah, it's 13 years. There you go. Or 14 now, going on 14. All of our relationship, we had some very good times. We traveled quite a bit. We packed our stuff up. We said, screw you, corporate life. We moved on. We experienced a lot of things that a lot of people don't experience, but we had some very hard times too. And we learned from those hard times. I learned more than she from those hard times. Unfortunately, the lessons that she learned was to avoid me, but we're fixing that. We've been working on that. Now we work on it all the time. And she's right. We're going to have moments where she's just wrong about something and she's adamant that she's right about it. And I just, that's what an argument is. Eventually she realizes that she's wrong and she comes with her tail between her legs, forgive me, honey. No, that never happens. But, we're human. We're going to have moments where we have little disputes or arguments. But at the end of the day, and she'll tell you, we always kiss each other goodnight. And that's something that I hold very, very dearly. It's like, I don't want to go to bed angry. We can go to bed angry, but I'm going to give you a kiss. I love you no matter what. And the morning we'll wake up, we'll be different people. And I will not let her go to bed without that kiss goodnight. Even if we're at each other's throats, oh, you're an ass, I hate you, and blah, blah, blah. One time, we got a sushi order, and she tossed this beautiful display and the entire box of sushi at me across the room. And sushi just went everywhere, on the walls, on the floor. And that was about $60 worth of sushi that just went flying across the room. Yeah. And I remember, because part of me was so angry. It's like, what the hell is wrong with you? And the other part of me was like, this is freaking hilarious. I want to laugh so bad, but I can't laugh because there's more sushi still on the table, and I don't want to encourage her to keep throwing it.
I don't even remember why, but yeah, I remember.
I don't either. Right? This is before Jason, by the way.
Yes, this was before. So I'm sure it was something you did. I don't remember, but I remember the sushi flying, hitting you and the wall. But at least it was sushi. I mean, it wasn't like anything.
So if you're joining us for the first time, this is Courage to Be Real. Story. Yeah, thank you. This is Courage to Be Real with Jason Plevell, myself, Drew Forman, and my beautiful wife, Maggie Forman. Maggie, I am so glad you joined us. I love you dearly. I'm so glad that you had the strength and the courage to just be real with Jason and I. And I think through your stories and through our nightmares, our past, and what we've gone through and where we are today, I hope that it resonates with people that are out there. And trust me, if you're out there and you're staring at your spouse thinking, why the hell did I marry this guy? Or what the hell am I doing with this woman? And there's no infidelity. There's no reason to divorce other than the fact that you're not jiving right, and there's something in the past driving, because for us there was nothing that I did or that she did that broke the marriage, except for the way that I was acting like a 2-year-old because of something that I couldn't contain in my past. And she's right. And I just want to back up for a second before I tell you guys what I'm going to tell you. At the gym or anywhere we go, if there's little kids, I usually keep we and Cam coloring books with me, and I give coloring books to the kids. Kids like me for some reason, and I was always afraid of kids. Even my older kids that are now adults, I was always afraid of children, probably because of what I went through as a child. And I thought that there was always this governing power that would just suddenly, I'll snap and I'm going to hurt some child. And the chaos that resonates, the loudness. Kids have a chance or unbelievable ability to be unpredictable. And some of that unpredictability is they could be quiet and they can be eating something. All of a sudden they just erupt in this chaotic state of, the hell did that come from? And any little industrial sound, any little ambient, chaotic, whatever you want to call it, was a trigger for me. And kids were just this petri dish of eruption when you don't expect it. And Maggie will tell you this too. And there is a part of me that's completely opposite from what she said. If I saw a child being hit or being pulled or being yelled at or being, in my opinion, abused or maltreated in public, I would lose my mind. I've even chased individuals or gone after them. Like, what the hell are you doing to that kid? That's my kid.
Yeah.
No, not in public. It ain't.
Yeah.
So there is a part of me that's very, very overly protective, and I'll see red, and I don't know where that will take me. So I have to be careful with that as well. But now I'm this different Drew where it's like, and even with Cam's friends, we'll just take them with us. Let's, take such and such. Let's go to a movie. Let's do this. Let's do that. And it's a nice feeling to be able to take Cam and one of his friends to a trampoline place, one of those inside jumping places, or to the mall, or to wherever we're going. Hey, let's, pick up such and such. Let's go to McDonald's, or let's pick up the two kids up the street that were also adopted. Let's take, Maya and Oliver, and let's go here, or let's do this, or let's do that. And not because it's less chaotic when you have 3 kids in the car. It's a lot more chaotic, but it's this fun adventure now that we're building as a family. And it's a totally different perspective, a totally different mind. So that's why I'm saying, if you're in my position where I was, and we're going to call it yesterday, and you're watching me today, and I'm a different person today, and I'm going to continue being that different person tomorrow, you're not alone. There's a lot of people with childhood trauma. It's going to affect you in different ways, in very adverse ways. It doesn't mean you're broken. It just means that you need a little bit of work. You need to take a step back. You need to take that breath. Stop attacking your wife just because you think that you own her body and that you could have sex with her anytime you want. Respect your wife. For me, it was, you don't love me. And I really honestly felt, and I think, Jason, I shared this with you, I really honestly felt that love was sex. There was no other way to slice it in my head. Love is sex.
Courage to be real, where real stories break the silence.